Hi and welcome to Love Doing Yoga on this Friday evening. Hope you've had a lovely week and that you're looking forward to the weekend. Our theme for this evening's practice is simplicity. I think we've really, over the last year, realized the joy in the simple things in life. So let's celebrate them, nature and just our general surroundings. So we'll dip in and out of that throughout the practice, and as always, listen to your body. Only do what feels right for you today. Let us begin by lying down. So finding yourself a nice, comfortable space on your mat. Letting the legs come out long. Maybe turning the palms upwards if that's comfortable. And just welcome yourself into the present moment. Set aside everything that's going on in your life and in the world. Shed yourself of any roles, responsibilities, or labels that you put on yourself or that others put on you. And just bring your simple self to the mat. And spend a little time here allowing the awareness of sound to fill you. Begin to notice all of the sounds around you. The near, the far, the loud, the soft. Just allow yourself to be filled with sound. You don't need to identify it. Just allow it to drift through you, noticing its transient nature and the silences between the sounds. Becoming aware of how sound emerges from silence and then recedes back into silence once again. If you notice your mind wandering, just gently bring it back to the awareness of sound. And now starting to focus in on the sound of your own breath. The sound of yourself breathing. Let that sound come to the fore of your attention. And now beginning to notice your breathing. As you inhale through your nose, allowing the belly to fill, and exhale through your nose as the belly empties. And on the exhale, allowing your awareness to encompass your pelvic floor. So as you exhale, just drawing your pelvic floor up. And as you inhale, releasing. And on your next exhale, as you draw your pelvic floor up, just bring the belly button in and up. And let's try and dip in and out of that breath throughout the practice. Anytime you think of it, just using that breath as you exhale to lift the pelvic floor, draw the belly button in and up. Such a good breath to practice, particularly for women. And on your next inhale, raising the arms over your head, drawing them all the way behind you. And in your own time, bringing them back down by your sides. And let's do that 2 more times. And then bending the knees, rolling over onto your side, just coming up to sit. If you've got a block, maybe just bring it underneath you to sit on it. And sit on the edge of the block with your seat bones at the edge of the block. Sitting up nice and tall, ears over your shoulders, shoulders over your hips, and allowing a little bit of space to come into the spine. Just letting everything open up as you sit up nice and tall. Sorry, I was slightly distracted there because Alan was, I thought he was choking in the corner, but he's all right. He's all right. So I'm back on message now.
Excuse me.
Oh.
Sorry.
And let's, from here, with that lengthened spine, let's just take a little twist to the left. So thinking about turning from the belly button, allowing the chest to turn, letting the right hand rest on that left thigh. And let's inhale, finding that length. Exhale, deepening the twist. Enjoying this rotation of your spine. One more breath. And coming back to the center, just allowing your body to settle, for everything to make its way back into its original position. And then once again, let's just take a little twist to the right. Just ensuring that it's your torso that's doing the turn rather than your neck, which can turn much further and give you the illusion that you're doing lots. But really think about the upper body doing the turn. Two more breaths here. And Coming back to center once again, just allowing everything to settle. And turning the head, thinking about keeping the chin parallel with the floor as we just turn our head this time to the left, keeping the body still. And then really slowly, like we're drawing a little half circle with our nose, bringing it over to the right. And again, back to the left, allowing it to have its full stretch, so you're getting a nice stretch here on the outside, the right side of the neck, and a nice contraction here on the left, and drawing it around to the right. And back to the center. Let's draw that line now with our nose to take a gaze to the ceiling, allowing the whole front of your neck to stretch. And then really slowly bowing the head down, as far down as it can go, to really stretch out the back of the neck. And again, raising the face up towards the feet, the ceiling, and bowing the head all the way down to the floor. And coming back to the center, lifting those shoulders up to the ears, bringing them back and dropping them down. And again, up and back and down, up and back and down. And taking your right arm, just bringing it across your chest, hooking that left elbow under it, so you get a nice stretch of that right shoulder. As you're exhaling here, think about drawing up the pelvic floor, belly button in and up. And if you're unsure about what I mean by drawing up the pelvic floor, I'll make a little video during the week to just explain it a little bit more about pelvic floor exercises. And then let's just take that to the other side. Enjoying that stretch. As you exhale, drawing up the pelvic floor, belly button in and up. And bringing both hands down. Let's just open them out into a T, and again, take a little twist here, keeping the arms in the T. And rotating all the way around almost like we're a helicopter. Although we get stuck. We can't do a full rotation. And back to the center. Good. And from here, let's just take it onto the mat with your legs out, nice and long, sitting up tall here, toes pointing up to the ceiling. Have the knees as bent as you want. In this position, your legs haven't had any kind of a stretch yet, so take it easy on them, but think about having equal weight on both seat bones, sitting up nice and tall. Good, and let's just bend this right leg, bringing the right foot up to the left thigh. And we're going to bend forward over the left leg. So again, if your hamstrings are tight or sore or anything, just bend the knee. Okay, so we're not trying to overdo the stretch just yet. Allowing the chest to move towards the knee. Enjoying that stretch. Lengthening the spine on the inhale, drawing up the pelvic floor on the exhale. One more breath. And making your way all the way up. Let's just take that to the other side. So letting that left foot come up against the right thigh, and again bending forward from the hips, allowing the chest to move towards the thigh. Inhaling, finding that length. Exhaling, drawing up the pelvic floor. And making your way all the way up, letting both legs come out long. Again, whatever feels suitable for your legs at this point in your practice. Sitting up nice and tall. Let's just raise the right arm up and take a little bend towards the left. Softening the shoulder, keeping the shoulders in line with each other so your chest is straight. We don't want to let the arm fall over in order to get deeper into the bend. We want to keep everything in line. One more breath here. Enjoying that stretch on the right hand side of your body. And then coming back to the center as we take it over to the other side. And back to the center, bringing both arms up and just pressing them away from you. So you're really getting a big stretch all the way up your body, up your shoulders and arms. And releasing the hands, letting them come all the way down, and let's just swing around to come onto all fours. Checking in with yourself here, shoulders over wrists, fingers open nice and wide, just feeling the mat with your fingertips. And hips over knees, feet straight out behind you. Nice long spine and neutral spine, looking down at the mat so that your neck is nice and long too. And let's raise that right arm up, following it with your gaze as it goes upwards, and then thread it all the way through, coming down to rest on your right ear and right shoulder. And raising it all the way up. Let's thread it through and bring it up again, and one more time, threading it through. Coming back up onto all fours as we take that to the other side, raising the left hand up, threading it through. We're going to stay here for a few breaths. Left shoulder and ear to the mat. And then raising the left arm up and and threading it through. And again, raising it up and threading it through. One more time, all the way up and all the way through. And coming back onto all fours. Let's just come down onto our belly, forehead on the mat, hands either side of your chest. And we're going to begin to peel ourselves away from the mat and starting to shift the weight into your hands as you lift your body up off the mat and shifting weight onto your feet to lift your knees. And then lowering everything back down onto the mat. Good. And that is an up dog. So let's do that again. So just peeling everything away from the mat, lifting up into a nice little back bend. And then bending the knees and lowering yourself back down. Good. And pushing up onto all fours once again, curling those toes, pushing the heels back, lifting the knees up as we come into our downward dog. Just pedaling your way here into your most comfortable spot for your dog. And when you're ready, coming to stillness. Letting that gaze go towards the belly button, spine nice and long. And as you exhale here, drawing up the pelvic floor, belly button in and up. One more breath. And then walking the feet up to meet the hands, bending the knees. Coming all the way up, bringing those hands first into prayer. Checking in with the feet. And then let the arms come down by your sides. So having a look down at your feet, they want to be pointing towards the front. Equal weight on both feet and across your feet. So if you think about your feet with four corners, the ball of your foot either side of it and the heel. So, and letting the palms of the hands face the front. Let's just begin to synchronize our breath with a little bit of movement. So as you inhale, allow the arms to move away from the body. And as you exhale, allowing them to drift back by your side. A really simple movement, but just enjoy the simplicity of this movement, this connection between your breath and your body. Good, and bringing your left hand onto your left hip, raising that right arm up past your ear, over your head, and let's take a little bend to the left. So really feeling this stretch now that we're standing, move all the way from the outside edge of that right foot up the length of the leg, right up the side of the rib cage, through the armpit, along the arm to the fingers. Everything having a lovely stretch. And coming up straight. Let's just take that over to the other side. And again, really almost tracing the length of that stretch from the outside edge of your left foot all the way up through to your fingertips. And coming back up to stand with both arms down by your sides. And let's just allow the head to drop over to one side. So the left ear to fall towards the left shoulder. And then really slowly circling the head around. So the right ear comes to the right shoulder. If it's comfortable for you to circle it on around, do, or just let it roll back across your chest to the other side. So really working with your body here and what you feel is right for you today. And then when you're ready, coming to stillness. And we're going to run through sun salutes now. We'll do a normal one first, and then we'll start to add a few bits into it. So raising the arms up, let's sweep them out to the side, coming into a forward fold. Bend your knees as you need to, and coming up to halfway lift. Lengthen the spine here, keeping the gaze on the mat, and forward fold. Let's step that right leg back, dropping the knee, open the foot for your low lunge. And then smoothly moving through to your plank, having a micro bend in those elbows and coming down on your knees, feet. See, can you get your chest to the mat before your belly? And lifting into just a cobra, so a little back bend. Pushing on up then through your tabletop into your downward dog. Allowing the shoulders to be broad here. Lengthen the spine. And let's get that right foot up to the top of the mat. By whatever means works for you, dropping that back leg. Low lunge. And stepping it up into a forward fold. Bending the knees. Coming all the way up to stand. Good. Don't worry if you're not familiar with sun salutes. You'll become familiar with them. So let's take that on the other side. Bringing the arms up, sweeping them out to the side, forward fold. It's such a great way to get an all over body stretch. Coming up into your halfway lift. And forward fold, stepping the left leg back here to come up into your low lunge. And moving through to your plank. And then coming down on knees, feet, chest, keeping those elbows in as you come down onto your belly and lifting into your low cobra. Pushing on up through tabletop to your downward dog. And let's get that left foot now up to the top of the mat. Again, you can help it along the way. And into your low lunge. Hands down either side of the foot, stepping it up, forward fold, bend your knees, bringing those arms out, coming all the way up to stand. Good. Okay, let's mix it up a little bit. So raising those arms up, letting them come out to the side as we come into a forward fold. And halfway lift.
And forward fold. We're going to step back into our low lunge again. So right leg goes straight back like it's on a railway track. Let it go back as far as it can. Dropping that right knee, open out the foot. As you come up, just keeping an eye on this left leg, that the left knee is over the left ankle. And raise the arms up. Good. Draw a little arc with the nose to look up at the ceiling so you're getting a nice back bend. Bring the hands down either side of the foot, curling the toes of that back leg. Let's just lift the knee up off the mat. Come onto the fingertips of your hands and hover over this thigh. So we don't want to be letting all our weight rest on the thigh. Just bring the torso to one side so you're not on it. Nice long spine here, enjoying this stretch all the way from the crown of your head to your heel. And now for some strengthening exercises, we're going to lift the legs up, or the hands up off the floor, and just bring the arms out into a T. Good. One more breath. And raise the arms up, letting the torso come up. Good. One more breath. And letting the hands come down either side of the foot again. We're going to step back into our plank and continue the rest of the sun salute from here. So from the plank, which I bet feels good, come down onto your knees, feet, elbows in, chest down, belly, and lift up into your cobra. Pushing on up to your tabletop, curling those toes as we come into your downward dog. Good. Let's get this right foot up to the top of the mat. So any way that works. So if it'll only go halfway, that's fine. Help it the rest of the way. Lift it, drag it, whatever it takes. And let that right knee or left knee come down onto the mat. And you might want to inch it back a little bit more just to get an extra stretch in that quad. Keeping this right knee over the right ankle as we come into our low lunge here. And raising the gaze for a little back bend. Good. Hands down either side of the foot. And curling those toes of the left leg, lifting the knee up off the mat. Coming on to your fingertips here, keeping the torso away from that right thigh. Your breath here will really help you if, as you exhale, you lift that pelvic floor, draw the belly button in and up. Just engaging the core. And then when you're ready, lifting the hands up off the mat, holding them out into a T. Keep the gaze on the mat. Let your breath help you. As you exhale, draw the belly button in and up. Raise the pelvic floor. And let's raise the arms and the torso. Good. Hands down either side of that foot. We're going to step the left foot up to meet the right. Bending the knees. Coming all the way up to stand. Well done. Let's take it on the other side. Arms up, sweeping them out to the side, bending, remember, from the hips. As we bend into your forward fold. Nice generous bend in the knees as much as you need to. And halfway lift. Forward fold. Let's step that left leg back. Dropping the knee, open the foot for your low lunge. And raising the gaze. Good. Hands down either side of that foot. Curling the toes of that left foot, lifting the knee up off the mat. For our runner's lunge here, good. Keeping, being on your fingertips. And raising those arms out into a T. Good, gazing at the mat. And then raising the gaze in front of you, lifting the arms, lifting the torso. Lovely. And coming all the way down, hands onto the mat. Let's step back into your plank. And coming down on your knees. Feet, elbows in, chest down, then the belly. And rise up to your cobra. Pushing on up through your tabletop into your downward dog. Let the shoulders open out, nice and broad. Lengthen the spine. Good. Let's get that left leg now up to the top of the mat. And dropping the right knee for your low lunge, raising the gaze. Hands down either side of the foot, curling the toes of that back leg to lift up to your low lunge. Looking in front of you, enjoying that stretch as it moves all the way from your heel up the back of your leg, along over your glute, along the whole length of your back, the length of your neck. And gazing at the mat, just lift the arms up into a T. Good. Again, enjoying that whole length. That space you're creating. As you exhale, drop the pelvic floor. And let's raise the arms up, bringing the shoulders over the hips. And hands down either side of the foot. Stepping that right foot up to meet the left, bending the knees, and coming all the way up to stand. Well done. Hopefully your legs are feeling well worked. And from here, let's raise the arms up, sweeping them out to the side as we come into our forward fold. And from here, halfway lift. And forward fold. We're going to step this right leg back on its railway track, but it's only going to go back far enough where it can be flat on the mat. So you want to be able to get your heel onto the mat. Bending that right knee so it's over, bending the left knee so it's over the left ankle. Your feet are hip width apart. And then lifting up the torso for your warrior one. Checking in here. Let's start with your feet. So becoming aware of your feet, your left foot nice and long. Allow the toes to be long. Your right foot, put a little bit of weight into the outside edge of that right foot. Check in with your hips, that they're nice and square. Hips pointing towards the top of the mat, feeling nice and square. Your left knee over that left ankle. Now just put your thumbs onto the bottom of your rib cage. So not your last rib out here, but your last rib that comes down the center of your body, if that makes sense. And with your fingers, whichever finger reaches, so in my case it's my thumb and my middle finger, just touch the point of your hip. And so a lot of the time in our low lunge and in our warrior one like this, we're letting the rib cage open up, lift up a little bit. What we want to do on this occasion is keep the rib cage in line with the hips. So you're probably going to have to just draw your rib cage in a little bit. And hopefully in doing that, you can feel your core have to work quite hard, and you're working the muscles very deep inside here for this. And then concentrating on that pelvic floor, lifting the pelvic floor as you exhale. Feeling the whole center of your body really working in this pose. And then keeping those ribs over the hips or in line with the hips, we're going to raise the arms. So that becomes quite difficult. The gaze stays in front. Good, one more breath. And bringing the hands down either side of that left foot. Let's step it back into our plank. And then come down on knees, feet, chest, belly, and peeling the chest away from the mat. Pushing on up into your downward dog. Good, and let's now get that right leg up to the top of the mat. Check in with that left foot, so you might need to bring it forward just a little bit. Bending the right knee this time, so it's over the right ankle. And rising up here. Checking in, so nice long toes, long foot in the right foot. Right knee over right ankle. A little bit of weight into the outside edge of that left foot. Squaring up the hips. Having the shoulders square with the hips, so we're all nicely aligned. Check in with the rib cage, lining it up with the hips. And now checking in with the breath. Inhaling, allowing length to come into the spine, but allowing that spine to lengthen and broaden. And as you exhale, lifting up the pelvic floor. Good, really good core work. And raising the arms up, trying to keep the rib cage in line with the hips. Lovely, one more breath. And bending forward, actually bend forward. Be really conscious of bending forward from the hips. Hands down either side of that right foot, stepping the left foot up to meet the right, bend the knees. And coming all the way up. Good, one more time. Raising the arms up, sweeping forward into your forward fold. Hopefully you're finding now with all of that leg stretching that you're able to get just a little bit deeper into your forward fold. And halfway lift. And forward fold. So the left leg is going straight back on its railway track, bending that right knee, lifting the body up, checking in, scanning that body, square hips, knee over ankle, weight equally distributed across both feet, ribs over hips, raising the arms. A really simple pose that does so much for so many parts of your body. And bending forward from the hips, letting the hands come down, stepping back into your plank, and coming down on knees, feet, chest, belly, and lift into your cobra. Pushing on up through to your downward dog. And let's now get this left foot up to the top of the mat. Checking in with that right foot that you can get it fully flat, the heel on the mat. Bending that left knee. Squaring up the hips on your way. Checking in that the rib cage is over the hips. They're in line with each other. Raising up the arms, gaze to the front. Checking in with that breath. As you exhale, lifting the pelvic floor, belly button in and up. And hands down either side of the foot, stepping that right foot up to meet the left, bending the knees and coming all the way up. Good, well done. That's all our standing work done, you'll be glad to hear. So from here, let's just raise the arms up and again sweep them out to the side as we come into a forward fold, letting the palms come onto the mat as you come down onto all fours, feet together, knees apart, pushing the hips back to the heels and coming into a resting pose, whatever resting pose works for you. Maybe one fist on top of the other, maybe with your arms out and your forehead on the mat, or with your arms behind you. So again, listening to the body. Two more breaths here. Good. And coming back up onto all fours, just bringing the right knee up to the right wrist. Let that the right foot come across in front of the left knee as we come down into a pigeon. And again, working with your body here in what feels right for it. Maybe it's lying all the way down with your forehead on the mat. And just enjoying this pose. If you feel any tightness or tension anywhere, direct your breath towards it. And allow your breath to ease it. Feel like you're totally relaxing into this pose, even if you find this pose quite challenging. Just think about releasing your jaw, releasing your shoulders, releasing your knees and your hips and your ankles. Two more breaths here. And making your way back up onto all fours as we just take that to the other side. Letting the right leg move all the way back and lowering yourself down. And again, just allowing the body to release here. It's quite a passive pose, this, but it does so much for you. It's really good if you've got any issues with lower back pain or sciatica. It can really give you a lot of relief. Releasing any points of tension in your body. Two more breaths here. And making your way back once again onto all fours. And then just swiveling around to bring yourself down onto your mat, lying out nice and long. And from here, just bending the knees. And as you exhale, lower those shoulder blades down towards the mat. With each exhale, allowing the shoulder blades to almost get deeper and deeper into the mat. You might find it more helpful to have your hands up, your elbows bent, so they're kind of like cactus arms. Just might help you to release those shoulders a little bit deeper into the mat. And when you feel like they're totally flat against the mat, on your next exhale, just think about lowering your lower rib cage, getting that closer to the mat without moving the shoulders, so keeping the shoulders where they are. And as you exhale, just lowering that rib cage closer to the mat. Good, 2 more breaths like this. And then letting the arms come down actually into a T, and allow the knees to fall over to the right or the left, whichever side, to one side. And let your gaze go to the other side. And then letting the knees fall over to the opposite side and your gaze change over. And coming back through the center, bringing the arms down by your sides, palms facing upwards, and let the legs come out long for your final resting pose of Shavasana. And thank you so much for joining me in this practice. I hope you enjoyed it whenever you're doing it, and I hope you enjoy your weekend. And I look forward to you joining us again on the mat next week. We will be here live on Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 6. We'd love your company. I think we had a few people's companies tonight. Maureen, I know, is here, and I know Natalie will be catching up, and Maria and Jane was here with us, and Siobhan will be catching up, and Maxine. So great to have you with us. Thank you so much for your company, and welcome, of course, to our newest patron, Carmel. It's great to have you on board, and we really appreciate your support. So I will bid you a namaste as you just totally let go. Letting go your toes, the soles of your feet, the tops of your feet. Letting go your heels and your ankles, your shins and your calves, your knees, front and back. Letting go your quads that had to work hard tonight, and your hamstrings that got a good stretching. Letting go your glutes, your whole pelvic area. Letting go your belly, the small of your back, the whole of your rib cage. Letting go the length of your spine. Letting go your shoulder blades, your chest, your shoulders. Letting go the length of your neck, your armpits and upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, backs of your hands, palms of your hands, and your fingers. Letting go the back of your head, the crown of your head, your forehead, eyebrows, eyes, cheeks, jaws, chin, lips, and tongue. The whole of your body, just let it go. And taking a moment here of gratitude for these simple things in life. The simple poses, the simplicity of your breath, the simple things in your life that bring you pleasure. And filled with that gratitude, just allow your awareness to rest on your breath as you breathe in through your nose, into your belly, and out through your nose. And take yourself to a beach. Walking along the beach, taking in the sounds, the smells, the temperature on your skin, the textures. Filling yourself with the beauty of this moment and its simplicity. Find a little place to stop and enjoy.